What is up, y'all? Welcome to Bucket for Bucket podcast with Kayla and Kenny. We are back with another one for you. It is the WNBA playoffs. Round two is in full effect, but we got to chop it up because it's the W and there's so much going on as always. Kayla, what's up? How you feeling?
What's up, y'all? WNBA playoffs, the best time in the WNBA. You already know the best basketball. So much has gone on, round one, and I can't wait to break it down with y'all.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Round one. We gonna just like briefly discuss round one a little bit with y'all. We gonna discuss the previews for the semifinals. We're gonna discuss the player awards that just dropped, some of the AP awards. We're also gonna discuss the discourse and everything that's happening with the W because it wouldn't be the W without some drama. We're gonna discuss some of the coaching changes. And we'll also discuss briefly about the new teams that's coming up too. We'll shout them out too. So it's been a minute since y'all heard from us, but we out here, we working, we out here in at Barclays all day, every day, media passes, doing our thing. So shout out to you, Kayla, for doing what you do this season. And shout out to y'all for tuning in as always. So what do you want to kick it off with? Let's kick it off. What you want to kick it off with, Kayla?
The home team, of
Let's kick
course.
let's kick it off with the home team, of course, the New York Liberty. You see behind me already. New York Liberty swept the Atlanta Dream in round one. And briefly, I want to discuss because that's a little bit payback. It's long distance payback because Atlanta Dream and the New York Liberty only seen each other in the playoffs once ever, and that was in 2010 in the Eastern Conference Finals when they used to do the Eastern and Western. The Atlanta Dream, they swept us, so we got our payback. The Atlanta Dream went on to go see the Seattle Storm in the WNBA finals, and they obviously lost. But 14 years later, we get our payback and we get rewarded with going to go see the Aces. But yeah, let's talk about that
It
matchup real
was a
quick.
sweep, and that first game, New York came out with a punch. A lot of people were scared as New York ended the season with a loss to Atlanta. Um, but it was the last season, the last game of the season. I don't think, they were out playing as hard, even though I feel like they should have really won that game, just to try to beat the record from last season. They ended with the
Yeah.
same record, as last season. And as we know, last season we did, meet our end goal. So I wanted, just to prove that we're better than last season and just end with that one game up. But it's okay. They came out in the first game and hit the first punch. It was a great game. We won by what, 14?
Yeah, won by 14 points that first game. And that second game, it was a little bit, it was a come from behind victory, which was,
Mm-hmm.
was dope. You saw a little bit resiliency. But one thing that I do want to mention is that we cannot forget to call out was Coach Sandy Brondello's big change in the starting lineup for the Liberty in that game one. Something that I personally thought was a little bit too early, but they sat Courtney Vandersloot, the general, and decided to go with you know, Leonie Fibich, a different direction. And if you look at the Liberty this season, the Liberty in the regular season, they was 12-1 with Leo in the starting lineup. So it was a really good change for them. And you saw her impact right away in that first game. She had 21, like that first game. She went crazy.
The most by a rookie in a playoff debut for the New York Liberty. Wasn't that surprising because the New York Liberty dealt with some injuries throughout the season, and Leo definitely stepped up and
Yeah.
showed that she can carry that starting role, which is rare for rookies in the WNBA. But as we know, she's a professional. She played overseas, has had that professional experience, and has been a great addition to the New York Liberty bench. And like you said, it was surprising that coach did it so early. I thought that we would easily win against Atlanta, and would have
Hmm.
liked to see her bring that out maybe for this round, the semifinals, against the Aces.
Yeah. I felt like that move was supposed to be the move that was supposed to be made this round. But again,
Mm-hmm.
this is why they get paid the big bucks to do what they do. And we'll see what else
Right.
she got in her chamber because I'm pretty sure she's gonna have to make some more adjustments. for this semifinals matchup. But obviously, we're gonna get to that. But that first chess move by Coach was a really good chess move because, like we said, Leo stepped up to the challenge. Somebody who's a professional overseas and came in. She's not your regular rookie. She's somebody who
Mm-mm.
puts up a lot of. She just does a lot of different things that help teams win. So her performance was amazing. But then game two, let's talk about game two real quick because game two, it was such a different pace. Like it looked a little bit scarier in a sense that uh Atlanta started hot. Jordan Canada, she really pushed the tempo. And then you saw
Alicia
Alicia
Gray.
Gray. Alicia Gray, she was
Yep.
hot to start that game. Ryan Howard with that block on Stewie, like it was they came in with a lot of energy that second game, and it kind of looked scary. So the Liberty had to fight back.
I mean, Sabrina Ionescu just put New York on her back.
Yeah.
We all saw that little clip of her high-fiving Spike Lee while she was inbounding the ball,
Oh
and how
yeah.
she said that she felt New York running through her veins. And she was literally showing that the arena erupted, the energy, Barclays, like all the fans. It was more hype for game two than it was on Sunday for game one.
Yeah, it really was. It was hype. Do you still got that New York in it? Because I seen her. She high fived you too. She gave me a high five after in
Yeah.
that press conference. It was like, yo, we got the energy. She
I
gave the
still haven't
like,
washed my hand yet, and I'm playing.
yo, we got the
But yeah,
energy.
Sabrina high fived all the media afterwards. She was feeling the New York love. Shout out to Sab. She's always great to interview, always
Yeah.
bringing the vibes to the media room.
Yeah, nah, so absolutely, absolutely. That was fun. That game in general, it was a lot in attendance. We had Whoopi Goldberg was there, Pharrell was there, Ja Rule was there. He did the halftime performance, and we got to interview him and ask him our question.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of people in attendance, but like you said, that moment between Spike Lee and Sabrina was that moment that took the team to the next level. Sabrina's 36 points, that tied, a franchise record. I believe Cappy Pondexter had 36
Yep,
in the
9 assists.
playoffs.
She was
Yeah,
one
she
away from a double
thir
double.
36 and 9, and she was one away from a double double and just 1 point away from, just having that record. And she mentioned it. She was like, yo, I should have just had one more in that post
Mm-hmm.
game. But it's good to see Sabrina shoot the ball like this, especially how she's been, like, she hasn't been shooting the ball well at all since her neck injury after that all-star, after the Olympic break. So this might be a good game for her. Hopefully we'll see, like, hopefully she keeps that tempo up. Exactly what happened on Tuesday night is exactly what we need tomorrow night from tomorrow afternoon from Sabrina Ionescu in order to
Yeah.
see them win.
I
So
mean, she might not have been shooting the ball well, but she's been doing a great job with driving and shooting mid-range compared to last season, which is something that she's really grown in her game. And I feel like she's heard the comments like she's scared to take it to the basket, was too reliant on her threes, but she has really grown in that aspect of the game this season,
oh
being
yeah,
able to finish at
100%.
finish at the rim. Yeah, her finishing package. So shout out to Sabrina for that, and that's what we're gonna need against the Aces for her to continue to be aggressive. And even though she hasn't been shooting well, she's been the main reason the Liberty are playing with that passing identity. She's been a great passer.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So 100%. What she's doing, what she did in that first round, that heroic performance, that classic heroine performance that she put on is something that they're gonna continue to need. But like we were saying, we're not gonna get too long-winded in the first round because we still do have some other first round matchups to talk about. Which one should we jump to next? Let's talk about uh who we want to talk about? Who we want to talk? Do we want to talk about the Aces in Seattle? Because that one was
Aces,
quick.
Aces in Seattle. It was quick. It was another sweep, right? The
Yeah, it
Aces
was.
swept the Storm. A little surprising, the Seattle last season didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Had a lot of change at the beginning of the season. Brought in
Hmm.
NECA from the Sparks. Had to bring Jewel Lloyd some help. I believe Jewel Lloyd ended last season the leading scorer in the league, right? Even
Yeah,
though the
yeah,
team didn't make the playoffs.
yeah,
So she was getting her buckets, she was getting her points, but she needed a team. Skylar Diggins Smith, which was a huge pickup
yeah.
in that off season as well. And I don't know, I didn't expect them to go out like that.
They was on my pretenders list. I don't know if you remember this. They was on my pretenders list. We had an episode, we spoke about it, but they was on my pretenders list, and I'm not shocked. I think they big pretenders. I don't know if it's coaching, but it's definitely not talent. But I feel like we
Right.
do have to call out coaching a little bit. I think they got to do a little bit better. Especially like I would just cringe when I would turn on my TV and I would see like a lineup on the floor where it's like all three of your stars are not playing. And I don't know what like I've seen it multiple times. I don't know how long coaches decided to make those type of adjustments and stuff like that, but I feel like at all times one or two of those players should be on the floor in order that thing to work. Another thing, I know she's a rookie, but the use of Nika Mule this year, it was so hard to just watch and to
She
just
got her first field goal, WNBA field
digest
goal, the
that.
last game of the season.
Like that was so hard to digest and watch because you're looking at somebody, it's not like somebody who needs the ball in their hand, somebody who's like trying to, control the offense. Like this is somebody who's a hard-nosed player. In a sense, like you see how Kate Martin was able to find her way on a championship team and play minutes, throughout the season. Like I
Defense gets
felt
you
the
on the
same.
floor.
I felt the same for Nika Mule. Like it didn't make sense to me that somebody with her, like, who's coming from the Yukon umbrella and who's just a spun like it didn't make sense. So yeah, we'll see how it goes with Seattle, but I thought they were pretenders. So that series ending the way it did, like it was written. It was gonna end that way regardless. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I
yeah,
thought they could have won one game, but I mean, you're playing against the 2024 MVP, the defending champs, four All-Stars, four
Mhm.
Olympic, like, and they're clicking at the right time. I know they
Yeah.
might be the fourth seed right now, but their seed doesn't reflect the Las Vegas Aces.
It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't at all.
Chelsea was injured first half of the season, and right now Chelsea Gray is playing like the point guard she is.
Yeah, she's looking better. She's looking a lot better this
And
season.
that's super important for the Aces. I mean, Asia's gonna do what Asia does, but Chelsea it really controls that offense. Make sure um the ball gets to where it needs to go. Make sure she makes the right passes, the right plays. And it was tough on Jackie Young and Kelsey Plum not
Yeah.
having Chelsea Gray the first half of the season.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, and then jumping to who was the other matchup? Minnesota and Phoenix. Minnesota and
Another
Phoenix.
quick
That
one.
Yeah. All like look, all first round matches ended 2-zip. The top four
Right.
teams are where they need to be. They're doing their thing. But that Minnesota and Phoenix was one and done, and that was done quick. So we had two stories in that one. We had Nafisa Collier, those her first two games, like she's averaging 40 points right now. Like I know it's only two games, but she's averaging 40 points. She put up 80 points, y'all. 80 points in those first two
Crazy.
games. She's wilding out. Like she's wilding out. It's
Crazy.
like she's seen the MVP awards, and was just like, nah, y'all should have hit me up. Y'all should have put my name up a little bit more. There was no unanimous. I should have been up there on some people. Like, that's how she felt. That's
And you
how
could argue for Nafisa. She
exactly.
had that type of season.
Exactly. So what she's doing, like OD. And then on the other side of that is the GOAT, Diana Taurasi. Like, is this the end? Have we seen the end of Diana Taurasi? So it's like we've seen social media, we've seen Phoenix, the Phoenix Mercury put out their little IG messages and that little video, the tribute and
Give
stuff,
her
and it's
flowers. Yep.
giving her flowers, and it's like, yo, is she gone? Is she not? Like, what? It
Fans were
seems.
screaming one more year. She was like, it worked on Sue. I don't know if it's gonna work on me, but I would love to see Diana have one more year. Why not? And actually have
Yeah,
a farewell tour. Or you think this is it?
like I don't know.
I mean, she's done it all. I
She's
mean, the most points ever
she
in the WNBA.
she really has done it all, but I don't know if she's gonna stay with the way that shit has been, but like with the W in terms of the fans and stuff. Like it might not be as appealing anymore, but I would like to see her stay, not only just to keep doing what she does because she can still ball, but also I want to see her reap the benefits on the pay that these new players and stuff that they're gonna get within like now in the next couple years. Like I want to
Yeah,
see
and they
them.
just opened a new practice facility in Phoenix. Like
Yeah,
actually enjoy it with a court named after her, Actually
yeah. So
get time to enjoy things that she put hard work and she was there to build.
yeah, and I selfishly want to see it because I like, this year covering media for the first year. This is my first year actually like being around in the room behind the scenes as opposed to just watching her. But now it's like it's different. It's like wow, like yo, this is it's really almost the end for her, and I selfishly want her to stay because I want to see her get that farewell tour. I want to see her do her Kobe tour and stuff like that farewell tour. That this is it. I want to see her do that. Her like she
Hmm.
deserves that.
Yeah,
But
she definitely
maybe
does.
she don't want to
20
do it.
teams, I mean 20 years with the same team.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Exactly.
no, she definitely deserves it. But just to end that matchup between Minnesota and Phoenix, just the Fisa Collier winning Defensive Player of the Year. We have spoken a little bit about that off camera. Just you thought Asia Wilson was gonna win Defensive Player of the Year.
Hmm.
I agree with you, but I had told you I don't know. I don't think they're gonna give it to Asia. I had a case for Nafisa, who is second in uh holding her opponent 39% per game, seven in blocks with 1.4, and one holding her opponents 1.9 per game, second.
Mm.
Asia Wilson, where her number is, my bad. I know I had it somewhere here.
Asia
I think
Wilson was the
she's
top of her
Asia
game.
Wilson is number one in blocks,
Hmm.
one in rebounds, one in defensive win shares,
She
and
won in she
three
won in
in
rebounds.
steals.
Ain't Angel Reese number one in rebounds?
No, it was on the WNBA app. Is my
Okay.
source.
Okay.
I don't know if she went ahead in those couple games Angel was out. I could check right now just so we could be a
Yeah.
1000% sure.
Nah, just the
But
yeah,
one
nah.
in blocks and
Angel Reese was the league leader in rebounds, but she was Asia was right behind her. Asia was at 11.9 rebounds per game. And remember, Angel was the peak performer for rebounds. Remember, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and Asia Wilson were the peak performers this year. Asia with the points per game, she was number one with points. Angel Reese number one with rebounds, 13.3, and Caitlin Clark number one in assists. But still, like at the end of the day, Asia was number two in rebounding, which is
one in blocks, two in rebounds, three in steals.
yeah.
I believe she could have easily got MVP and Defensive Player of the Year. But what they have done for Minnesota as a team, what
Hmm.
Nafisa done has for Minnesota as a team, I didn't even. I mean, at the beginning of the season, I did have them as contenders, but I didn't think they would finish fourth. Oh man, being first, holding their opponents to field goals as a team and 3-point percentage as well, and second in defensive rating. And that's because of Nafisa Collier. And Nafisa Collier, not only did she have a great defensive season, but she also had a great offensive season. She was like one of the best two players this season.
Yeah, not fact. She was one of the best two-way players, but the Minnesota Lynx got disrespected like crazy like last year. First of all, when they made their moves, I'm like I was 100% on ball with them because I'm just like, yo, yeah, adding a Courtney Williams to your roster. And then what they did this midseason, adding Maisha Hines Allen, like those were like crazy moves to like help
And
add
Letitia
additional.
Heidemann too. She was balling in
Letitia Heidemann,
Connecticut.
yeah, like yeah. So I'm just like, yo, y'all people are bugging out thinking that these are bad moves. So they was so disrespectful. I think FanDuel had them at 14 wins, like over or under
Wow.
14 wins. They only had them at 14 wins. So to see them do what they do is crazy. It's amazing. I'm not gonna hype them up too much because I know that's Liberty kryptonite
I
right
know,
now.
but they were seven and
But
four with
yeah,
versus top four teams.
yeah, and that's what's also scary too. They're a real deal. They're a real deal. They're a real
Especially
team.
that Commissioner Cup
Yeah.
win against the Liberty. So,
I know, I know, I know. We're not gonna hype up Minnesota too much over here
Rightfully
because they've been talking spicy. They've been talking spicy. Not, they've been talking spicy for real
so, rightfully so.
all playoffs. But I like it. I love every moment of it. And then the last one. Speaking of talking spicy, that last first round was the
As
Connecticut
spicy as
and
it gets, for real.
Indiana fever. Connecticut and Indiana fever. Spicy, as spicy as it gets. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was of the mindset. I'm like, yo, I was so happy to see what the Indiana Fever was able to do this season. But at the same time, no hater. I was kind of happy to see them get bounced too, because I'm like, yo, them fans, yo, I need to I need like
Doing
a
too
little
much.
moment. I need a moment away from them fans. And Angel Reese fans too. All right. All of them funny fans. I just need a moment away from y'all for a minute. Okay. That's how I was feeling. That's exactly how I was feeling. And to so not to have Chicago in the playoffs and not have Indiana there. I'm just like, okay, we could take a little break now and pause and watch some good basketball. But there's a lot of people talking because I don't know if you notice, all of the games, most of our beloved WNBA playoff games went from ESPN to ESPN2. They're not even on ESPN no more. So I guess, I don't know. So to some people, it looks like, oh, Caitlin is only
Kayla Clark
worthy
is out the playoffs, so no more
but
ESPN for the W.
yeah, that's
Kind of
crazy.
crazy.
That's crazy. I think yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. If
And
you
I guess because what football season is also baseball, MLB playoffs.
I don't know this day. Yeah, I don't know. They play football on
Is
ESPN on Sundays? I don't
I don't
see
know.
football.
You watch football. I don't at all.
I
So
don't see football games on if football is
I'm not
played
the
on
person to
national
ask.
TV.
Okay.
ESPN only
Right,
has
like
the prime
NBC,
time.
right?
Yeah, ESPN has the prime time game. So if it's on ESPN, that means it's an 8 p.m. game or something like that. But
And these games, especially last year's rematch to the WNBA finals, semifinals, could easily be on ESPN, easily be on primetime,
that's crazy.
ABC.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
But yeah,
I don't know. That's crazy. It's crazy if
hey,
you
it's only
ask
the
me.
beginning of the battle. It's only the beginning of the battle. We've
Yeah,
had a good year. We've had a good year.
yeah. But like we was talking about those that
Sun
matchup.
Fever,
Yeah,
another
Sun
sweep.
Fever, Connecticut
Connecticut took
wins.
care of their business.
Mm-hmm. But
Defensive player of the
extracurricular.
year had a game. Dejanay Carrington with that seatbelt action.
Oh yeah,
Um,
most improved. Yes.
Most improved.
Congratulations to Dejanay Carrington on that most improved player of the year. Well deserved. Even though I didn't have you atop of that list, I had De'Erica Hamby, but after further review, it's you. It's you, Shorty. It's you, girl. You got it.
Yeah.
100%. I had you as my defensive player of the year. I know Nafisa and Asia did amazing things, but again, I was just hell bent on wanting to see the guards get love at the defensive end. And
Yeah, you
I
did
think
keep saying the guards don't get enough love
I think
defensively.
yeah, and I think Dejanay did a great job this year on defensive. So even though she didn't get defensive player of the year, I'm happy for her for getting most improved. And I also just I need them to acknowledge her and have her on that all defensive first team. Oh, like
For
it
sure.
has to happen.
For
She has to
sure.
be on that. And yeah, that's all I got for that.
And this is
Just want to
why, because defense gets you on the floor. Dejanay started off coming off the bench, playing great defense, was a huge defensive spark for Connecticut off the bench. And offense would just come. She'll get those steals quick to in transition. Her offense was based off her defense. And that's what got her the starting position this season. And
yeah.
she has flourished not only defensively, but offensively as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Averaging 12 points per game and is
Yeah.
always guarding the best player on the floor. Her defense on Caitlin Clark all
Oh
season,
yeah, yeah. It's not just Caitlin
amazing.
Clark. It was Caitlin
No,
Clark. It was Jewel Lloyd. It was Enrique. It was Sabrina.
Jackie
It was
Young, everyone.
Jackie Young. Like, yeah, she had some good lockup performances this year. So,
Hmm.
I definitely want to shout her out again, as I did on the last go around. Dejanay, she, uh, amazing, amazing. So,
And you mentioned De'Erica Hamby, who also had a great season despite the Sparks not making the playoffs. She did finish
yeah,
second in most improved with 18 votes. Dejanay had 28. But
yeah,
to me, De'Erica Hamby is never most improved. I mean, you're two-time sixth woman of the year. She's like a four-time All-Star.
hmm yeah.
Played in the
I get you.
Olympics, a
I get you.
WNBA champion. You know, I don't think she was ever most improved, but she had a tremendous season. Given what she had, the Sparks also had some injuries. Cameron Brink, and she had a couple rookies, starters.
Yeah, yeah,
But what she has done come from pregnancy, played 10 months after giving birth. Last season, she had a great season as well. And she played
yeah,
right after pregnancy. So I'd expected nothing less from Dearica Hamby. She's just that type of player.
yeah, yeah. Facts, facts, facts.
And
I
going
feel
through
like,
all that extra drama on the side as well,
oh
with
yeah,
her legal battles versus the Aces
oh
and
yeah,
the
hundred
that
percent,
open court. So
a
to
hundred
be
percent.
mentally, there and be able to play so well, because that could definitely take a mental toll. It's been a reoccurring issue in the WNBA, as Skylar Diggins, as well.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then let's just go to that point because to closing out on the first round, the reason why we was talking about first round, we was talking about Connecticut and Indiana and everything that transpired between those two teams in that series. And then after that, you heard Alyssa Thomas had some comments, Dejanay Carrington had some comments. There was a lot of stupidness going on with some reporters after Dejanay inadvertently poked Caitlin Clark in the eye, and you had stupid reporters coming out to ask if she
And
like
just kept
did that
going,
on
like
purpose and then doubled down on it, and then they come out and then they like oh no, my bad, my back is scratching, my shoulder blades is killing me. They like they like yo, they doubling down like, oh, we're reporting and doing this, that, and the third, and so on, so on. It was just like, yo, y'all are fishing like
for a
too much.
story, for a
Yeah,
headline, yeah.
yeah, fishing for stories and headlines and creating all types of narratives and stuff like that. And it's like, you look on the other side of it, does do these reporters reach out to any other players and be like, yo, did you poke her on the eye on purpose? Did you do like, that like stuff like that was just it's just weird. It's just weird. And then to have reporters kind of like try to double down on that is it's even more weird.
No, and it's
So
like you have the most improved player in front of you, and you're over here worried about if she poked Caitlin Clark on the eye on purpose.
yeah, yeah, and it was just bad. And then something about like, oh, it looked like you guys were laughing because they did the three to the dome, and
You ain't never
it's
watched
just
basketball, like
yeah, it's
you don't
bad.
know
So
Carmelo Anthony? Come on now.
yeah, so that's also another part of it too, because even like looking in these spaces now, like you could tell who hasn't really been about around basketball. They haven't played. They haven't. So they don't know as much about the game or the culture or stuff like that. So
Right,
they're
heavy on the
doing their
culture.
stories, and that's respect to these reporters because they're doing their job. But I feel like at a certain point you have to just kind of like sit down and not comment or try to fish for stories when it comes at the cost of other players and their integrity and stuff like that. So that was bad for business. But I like how the WNBPA responded. And even the WNBA made their response finally. They finally put a statement out on, hate and everything that's been going on. A lot of people saying it's a little bit too late, but what I say is, well, it's a start. They need to start and they
Yeah.
finally started. So that gives me like hope that they'll be better in the future and they'll continue to like push and stop these narratives. But also I asked yesterday on 27th. So yeah, I asked Brianna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu, and this question of mine is going viral on Twitter. There's a lot of hate towards this because I've always been of the mindset if people are using your name and talking crazy and talking greasy online, I feel like you might not be obligated to, but I feel like you as a player should say like, yo, kind of denounce that and let people know like they're kind of bugging out. So what I did is I asked Brianna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu, and I pretty much asked them to make a long story short, is do they feel players should, speak out when their names are being weaponized in a certain way. And I said it in a sense of I didn't call out specific names. So I said when certain players, and when I say certain players, I'm not being passive aggressive towards Caitlin Clark because Caitlin Clark is the most recent one, but I'm saying certain players and certain teams because in the sense of Caitlin Clark's fans have been really nasty, rude, but also Angel Reese's fans have been nasty and rude too. But then also the Aces fans have been nasty and rude to Dearica Hamby. So it's like it's not just them that I'm speaking about. I'm just speaking about in general. Like, do you feel
Yep.
like the Aces. Do the Aces need to be like, yo, we don't stand with the fans when they booed De'Erica Hamby after making claims about her livelihood and everything like that? We don't stand. If does Caitlin Clark need to speak out when people are showing up to games with, these fake nails and eyelashes and mocking people and stuff of, the way that they
Yeah.
like stuff like that. That's what that was my question. So Brianna Stewart's answer was like, you know what? To each his own. If it was me, I would speak out. And I believe Stewie 100%. 100% because Stewie speaks
Yeah.
out. Sabrina Ionescu, you can't control your fans. You can't control what people are going to say. But in a nutshell, if you are close to the situation and know who it is and who's doing what, then use your platform and use your voice to speak on it. And that's what they said.
Yeah,
And
and when it gets to a point where it affects your teammates, like Aaliyah Boston had to get rid of her social media first half
yeah,
of the season. Lalissa Smith was really going through it, not only because she was on the fever, but because Dejanay, her being Dejanay's girlfriend and Dejanay defending Caitlin Clark, she was getting a lot of hate. And it's Kelsey Mitchell, when they were doing bad or blaming Nalissa Smith for the team's losses. It gets
yeah.
to a point where when it's affecting everyone around you, especially your locker room, and you don't want it to poison the locker room, things like this could be very poisonous to a locker room. You have to speak out and use your
Absolutely.
platform.
Absolutely. Yeah, you absolutely have to do that. So that's what they did. That's what they're doing. And I like to see that. But
I
a
wonder
hundred,
I wonder the Fever's future moving forward next year, because Nalissa Smith put out a heartfelt Instagram post just saying how the season went, how it wasn't how she expected, kind of saying her goodbyes, you know. Um,
yeah. Kelsey Mitchell's a
Kel-
free agent.
yeah.
Her goodbyes seem like goodbyes. It's like it seems like some people are gonna be on their way out. I could only imagine
Hmm.
what's going through Kelsey Mitchell's mind, what's going through Alyssa Smith, was going through Grace Berger's mind, and like what's going through all of these people's
Who
minds.
had a
Like,
lot of playing time last season and played great and didn't have much playing time this season.
nah, and who and that's Caitlyn. Like she's
Lexi Hole.
yeah, Lexi Hall. Lexi Hall looks like she's gonna stay. She looks like she'll be okay. She has the she'll be okay. She'll be okay. I think she's falling apart. She's falling. You know, I think I don't want to say the wrong things, but Lexi Hull is okay. She's good.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Aaliyah Boston gave a great answer in her post game after the Fever were swept, just a little bit about the fans and saying, talking about how there's no place for that type of behavior in this league, but
Mhm.
she doesn't want to label all Fever fans as those type of fans, because at the end of the day, there's been Fever fans since Tamika Catching days, you know, and we can't just label and say all Fever fans are
That's true.
racist.
That's very true. That is very true. It's a lot of the new ones and a lot of these quote unquote passionate ones, but it's really these crazy people just doing the most and just finding a new
Yeah,
avenue, a new way to hate, and it's
you
dark.
could
Like they,
see.
yeah, it's bad.
Yeah,
It's bad, but
yeah. We'll see how next season goes, but we can finally enjoy our playoffs without Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and that kind of drama.
yeah, we'll enjoy the playoffs without all that drama right now, and we'll see exactly what transpires. We'll see where it goes from there. Um,
So
but
later, well, tomorrow, or by the time this episode comes, it'll be today. So
yeah,
today, Las
yeah,
Vegas Aces versus the New York
New York
Liberty.
Liberty, yeah. So
Rematch.
before
Get
we get
it
into
back in blood.
get it back in blood, yeah, round two previews. Round two previews, we have the Las Vegas Aces and the New York Liberty, a rematch from the 2023 finals.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a rematch from the 2023 Commissioners Cup, whatever you want to call it, but this is the rematch of all rematches. And very like I compare this rematch to the LSU and Iowa rematch because it was like, yo, this is the matchup we wanted to see in the finals when it was all said and done. but unfortunately, we get it in the semifinals. We get it
Just because of the
like,
bracket and
yeah,
how
we get it.
things played
Yeah, the
out.
way, yeah. So it's like we get it to see who makes it to the end, and I'm okay with that. Like as much as I wanted to see them, like rematch for the finals, like I'm okay with this right here because it adds more to the storyline, and it's like, yo, wow, like yo, one of these top two teams, these top two juggernauts, is going to get bounced in the second round, and we're
Yeah.
not going to hear nothing from them again after this round. So it's like, yo, this is crazy.
It's
One
like
of these
elite basketball in the second round.
elite basketball in the
Yeah, no,
second round,
this is gonna be tough.
two
I
elite
can't wait
teams,
for
and
tomorrow. Like I'm so
and
excited.
one of them gets bounced. That it's not fair. It's really not fair. Sad to see, but
Who's your pick? Liberty and what? Aces and what?
Liberty in 4 games. I'm calling a gentlewoman sweep. I would love to see the Liberty in 3 games. I don't want to see this, but in all jokes aside, what I think versus what I believe is going to happen are two different things.
Right.
What I would like to see happen is the Liberty in 3 or 4. But what I think is going to happen, I think this is going to be a 5 game series.
Yeah, I think it's
Like
Liberty in five.
exactly what we wanted last year to see a 5 game series. We're gonna get that this year, and it's just gonna be
Hmm.
like it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. So we'll get two versions of the Aces. If we get the version of the Aces that we've seen in the regular season, I'm confident in the New York Liberty to win,
But this
and
is not the regular season Aces.
it's
One
not.
game, Asia didn't play that last matchup versus the Aces, and then
Mhm.
Chelsea Gray wasn't playing
Yeah, I know. But when I say the regular season aces, I'm not talking about just the regular season aces that played the Liberty. I'm just talking about the aces in general. I'm talking about
in
the aces
general.
that lost twice to the Sparks this season. I'm talking about
Right.
the aces that
Minnesota.
that dropped to like 6 at one point in the season. That's the aces I'm talking about. Where you don't have a Chelsea Gray who's playing at her best at that point, but that's the aces that I'm talking about. So if we get an aces like that, which I doubt we will, then I'm confident that the Liberty could just take care of business, one and done, and I'm not gonna have to, buy a ticket to Vegas to go see,
Yeah.
and like I can't do that. I can't afford that right now. I can't do
But
that right now.
I
So,
think our keys for the Liberty is gonna be the bench.
mhm.
First round, we didn't get much production from the bench, maybe from Leo starting, but our bench has proven that we can. We've this season, we had that one game where the bench scored like 40. It was the most by the
Mhm.
bench, ever. So we've proven that we have some scorers on the bench.
Yeah.
KB, Kennedy Burke,
Yeah.
be at the right place at the right time, plays great defense. Kayla Thornton could really shoot the three, has shown that this season.
Mhm.
And Yara Sabali, healthy, was injured at the beginning of the season for the Liberty, but has gotten some great minutes the second half after
Yeah,
the
she
Olympic
has.
breaks. Hmm.
Yeah. So
And
Niara's
JJ's also key. Have her
yeah.
having a double double, playing aggressive in the paint, and that's where we're gonna need her for this matchup against Asia in the paint.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We're gonna need JJ 100%. I think that is like one of our X factors, one of the key factors into winning this series is JJ and Niara Sabali's play because Asia's gonna be Asia, so we're gonna have to balance that out in one way or the other. But we're gonna need JJ to like really, really pose her threat and her presence in that paint
Hmm.
area. Rebound the ball well, but also be aggressive and not be afraid to put her body up on Asia and hopefully get Asia in some foul trouble too, because
Right.
they don't have a backup out there
Kia
that's gonna
Stokes. They have Kia Stokes,
when I
and
say they
this
don't have a
season,
backup, I'm saying they don't have a backup that could mess with JJ, that could mess with Jonquel Jones, in my humble opinion. And if I have Kia Stokes on the floor instead of Asia Wilson, I'm extremely happy because I will continue to leave Kia Stokes open
barbecue
at the three
chicken all
point
day
line,
for JJ.
whatever it is. So, as much as I love Kia Stokes, by the way, once a lib, always a lib. But
Yeah, for
like
sure.
it is what it is. All right, it is what it
Nah,
is.
and when JJ's playing aggressive, she poses more as a threat from three. She can knock them down, but when she's relying on that and not playing aggressively in the paint, they're gonna play defense up on her. When she's being aggressive in the paint, they'll let her get those open threes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. absolutely. Um,
And I love when JJ does that little KD form.
yeah, that's her player. That's her favorite player.
Yeah,
So I
for
like to
sure.
see that. So just looking into that matchup real quick. Tomorrow that matchup is at Barclays Center. It is at 3 p.m. The New York Liberty have home court advantage. Unlike last year, the Liberty have home court advantage, so they're really looking forward to take advantage of that. Some upcoming milestones. Sabrina is 2 points from moving into fifth on the Liberty's all-time playoff scoring list. Jonquel Jones is two blocks from passing Sue Wicks for the most blocks in playoff history. Um, and she's also 3 blocks from moving into the 10th in the WNBA all-time playoff list. So that's a couple of milestones to look out. Oh yeah, I gotta shout out Courtney Vandersloot, the all-time leading playoff assist leader.
Flutie,
Yeah, and
she passed last game, right? With three
Yeah,
assists.
yeah, with her 3 assists, and Courtney Vandersloot is one still away from passing Penny Taylor for 14th in the WNBA's all-time playoff list. So we got some milestones up ahead. Shout out to the Liberty.
Yep.
We'll see what it is. I can't wait to see what the arena looks like
I
tomorrow.
can't wait.
Um, so we're gonna see what that's like. We're gonna see what
We
that's like.
outside. We
Yeah,
outside.
we outside with it. It's gonna be a monster crowd. They had the monster truck. I already seen the Liberty monster truck outside from I think it was on Friday. It was out there, and they had the monster truck show today. So it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. And I'm
I
super
know
excited.
Ty Michelle gonna be outside DJing, so I know she's gonna have the crowd hype.
Yes, Ty Michelle is going to be out here.
Oh, that's her
Um,
name. My bad. I thought it was Ty. Ty Michelle is gonna
oh
be
no, no, no.
outside.
It could be Ty. I could be.
Oh, my bad.
I could
No,
be.
I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but she's out. She's out there. She
And she
will be
always
out
bring the
there.
vibes.
Always brings the vibe. So shout out to her.
Yep, I
And
can't wait to be outside
yeah, the
tomorrow.
energy is gonna be different. It's gonna be different. I can't wait to see it. Um, yeah, it's gonna be a vibe. I'm looking forward to that.
The
Um,
Aces, New York is the only team the Aces have not beat. And this is the first time they don't have home court advantage. So
I know. Yeah, it's
this
the
is our
way
time, Libs.
everything looks like it's on a silver
This is our
platter for the
time.
Liberty.
Yeah.
It looks like it's there, but this is not going to be easy. It's going to be one of the
No, it's not.
scariest matchups
Kelsey Plum
ever.
said it herself. It's going to be a war.
It's going to be war. Yeah, it's going to be war. And I'm looking
It's
forward
gonna be
to
a
that
war.
war. I'm looking forward to it. Salute. We got the general. We got everything we need. Let's go,
Facts.
Liberty. Let's talk about that other matchup real quick. We don't got to get too much into it because like I don't got no notes on the Minnesota Lynx and the Connecticut Sun, but that should be a
I
really
just
good
know it's
matchup.
two defensive powerhouses.
Yeah,
That's what
that's
I
the
see when I look at
yeah.
that matchup.
It's two defensive powerhouses. I'm really interested to see how it plays out. Like I legit don't know how it's gonna play out, but for me personally, when it's all said and done, I would love to just see Minnesota and New York at the end because that's like it's gonna be a
Revenge.
real matchup. It's gonna be a real revenge matchup. It's hard. It's hard for me because part of me wants to be like, yo, I want to see Connecticut and New York in the
For
finals because
JJ. So
for
JJ could get that.
there's two storylines. There's JJ to
Yeah.
get her first championship against her former team, but
Who she was
also
once
it's
MVP with.
Connecticut, Kayla. It's Connecticut. We're gonna be pulling up to Connecticut for the finals.
No, right. It's
That's
right
exactly what
there.
I'm saying. So it's like it's a
And
little
you
bit
know,
harder.
a Connecticut game is a Liberty home game because those fans showed out every single time we played
Exactly.
Connecticut. Like you could
Exactly.
hear through the TV the Liberty fans cheering for for the Libs at
Exactly.
Connecticut, which was crazy. So Mohegan Sun, if
Yeah.
we play Connecticut in the finals, we're flooding Mohegan Sun.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. They're gonna have to play in a new arena. They might have to try to go to Boston again or something. Like it's gonna be bad. But
Yeah, no, it
yeah,
is.
looking forward to that. But that's all I got for the round two previews. It's not much
I
of a
mean, my
preview.
keys for Minnesota will probably be Bridget Carlton. Would
Hmm.
have to have a great game. She finished third in most improved voting.
She's really good. I like
Um,
her a lot. I like her a lot.
yeah,
She's
she's
low
a great
key, like, and
player.
she's a shooter. She's good.
And with these two defensive powerhouses, I think shooting is going to be what brings them to the edge. They're offensive, and what Connecticut has added has been Marina Mabry, who had what 27 in the first round, the most off the
Yeah,
bench,
yeah,
and she has
Marina
just
Mabry,
been it's been a perfect fit for Connecticut and has really
perfect
brought
fit.
that offensive spark that they needed, especially with what Harris out now due to injury in the first round.
Yeah, and then there's just one of our favorite duos in the WNBA right now is Marina Mabry and Dejanay Carrington, yo. Like,
Once enemies, they
who
used to
who
talk
would who would have
spicy.
thought? Who would have thought? Who would
Now
have
they're
thought?
besties, posting each other on their stories.
Yo,
But
what?
we love to see it. Yeah, we love to
We
see
love to
it.
see it. We thought it was
That's what the
gonna be
game is
like that.
about.
That experiment, it don't seem like it's working out too crazy in Phoenix with Sophie and Kai. But this right here,
And T Cloud too.
oh yeah, facts. The T Cloud, like, yo, but over here, this experiment is working out. So
Yeah,
shout out to
that the
Connecticut.
chemistry has been great for Connecticut. So offensively, if they can really bring that spark, they already got the defense down packed. I think they might have
Yeah,
the edge on Minnesota.
I
But
like
either or for me. But I
it.
definitely prefer Connecticut just so we're close
Oh yeah,
by.
that's a fact. That's a fact. But we'll see how that all goes. We'll see how that transpires. Um, what else we had to talk about? I feel like we had just a few more things to talk about. We've been on for a minute now.
How long we been on for?
I don't know. I don't even see the time. Uh,
Teaspoon, after her first year as a head coach for the Chicago Sky, New York legend, won her first game coaching in New York in Brooklyn. I will never forget that game. It was my first time covering media. I was able to interview Teaspoon. That video went super viral. Shout out to Teaspoon. Once a Liberty, always a Liberty. You know, when she comes
hmm
into the arena and she gets her standing ovation every single time.
hmm
The fact that she took the time to answer my question and the way she answered my question, always super nice, always gives me a nice smile, a nice hug. I guess she remembers me by now, but yeah, Teaspoon, man, her first year coaching, I thought she did a great job.
He did.
Chicago didn't make the playoffs, but they were a new team. They did a lot of moving around the offseason to get the picks they got, Camila
hmm
Cardoso and Angel Reese. And just that
Yeah.
move in of itself is huge. Angel
Yeah.
Reese went seventh in the first round. She could have
Oh yeah.
easily been picked up by Dallas, Washington, who I honestly thought Washington was gonna take Angel Reese. One, she was a hometown, she's from the DMV, and they needed that forward position. I know you're
Yeah.
an Aaliyah Edwards fan, and you always said that she's like uh been pro ready,
Yeah.
played for Team Canada, like she is pro ready. Also coming from UConn and but Angel proved a lot of people wrong. Like
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
should
She
have been
did.
picked fourth or third.
Yeah. The way
The
everything
way she played
happened.
this season.
Yeah, the way everything happened, it happened exactly how it's supposed to happen, in my opinion, because one, Chicago, like Washington, I don't think Washington could handle like Angel Reese. And then when I say Washington, I'm just talking about the area. Like Angel Reese is somebody who needs to be in a good, like a city that's popping, that's live, and so on. So if I see Angel Reese, I'm thinking Angel Reese, I'm thinking Atlanta, I'm thinking Dallas, I'm thinking Los Angeles, I'm thinking places
Yeah,
like
just
that.
the market, right?
Yeah, just the market and stuff like that. So Angel Reese definitely. In terms of them not making the playoffs, it's hard to tell because they was in the playoff picture, and then right as they were in the playoff picture, Kennedy Carter gets sick. A couple games before that. Then the Angel Reese
Angel Reese, yep, the wrist.
situation. She obviously didn't
Camilla
have
with
a
her
healthy
shoulder.
Camilla. Yeah, so it's like there's a lot of different things that's going on. So
Elizabeth
I,
Williams started
Elizabeth
off great
Williams.
for Chicago and then was injured. Like she was playing
Oh
great. She
yeah,
was starting over Camilla.
yeah, and I forgot how many times they had the starting lineup. I think she had them only twice. The
Remember that team beat New York
they had yeah, but they
twice,
they only
pre-game and regular season.
yeah, they only had a fully healthy roster, I think, twice throughout that season. So there was mad different
Wow.
lineups. But here's what I'm gonna say. I think there was a lot that we don't know about because when we look at it, we look at the Marina Mabry situation. Why did Marina Mabry request the trade? And then again, I also want to refer back to Dana Evans. She's one of the last remaining people from that 2021 championship team and
It wasn't
she
Diamond on that team too.
she wasn't yeah, yeah, she was also on that team too, but
Diamond
like
the Shields.
I'm just saying like Dana was there, she was part of that team, but she's also played herself out of the rotation, and she hasn't really gotten any like feedback, or what she's saying is she hasn't gotten any grace or anything like that. And I feel her for that because Dana Evans was somebody who was a six player of the year candidate last year, and it's like, coming
Yep.
into her role now, it's a completely different situation. So I I don't know what was going on behind closed doors, but to have two like rotational players, veterans, kind of like speaking out, I don't know what that means, but for the younger players, it looks like the younger players was, messing with Teaspoon. I don't know if Camila Cardoso necessarily messed with Teaspoon,
Yeah, there was a
to be
couple
honest with you.
timeouts where Camila Cardoso kind of gave a little side eye, a raised eyebrow, like,
Yeah.
But it looked like Angel and Kennedy Carter had a great relationship with Teaspoon. They were the only two who posted, heartfelt messages once it was announced that she was fired. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's
because
an
I think
interesting
I,
dynamic there.
I think Teaspoon really like favored those two, especially with everything that was going on with them, with the Caitlin Clark business, because Kennedy Carter was in the news for the wrong reasons. She's a great player, but she was in the news for the wrong reasons. And then you look at Angel Reese and that beef, like, so they was going through it. They was going through it as players, not just as players, but all of the hate and stuff that they was getting online. So I feel like that's why Teaspoon like really leaned on them the most and kind of gave them some leeway. And I think that might have rubbed the other team members the wrong way a little bit too. But um I feel like Teaspoon didn't get a fair shot, but also at the same time, the owner, I'm not too sure who the new ownership group of the Chicago Sky are, but they were not a part of the group that hired Teaspoon. So that Teaspoon hiring was in the works before they came into fruition. Right now, they might just be in a position where they're like, you know what, F it, this didn't work out. We gonna just hire our guy right now. So that's the way that I see it. We'll see if it turns out to be anything else, but yeah, they just needed to they parted ways for whatever reason, and we'll see how that goes. But I also say this: Kurt Miller is gone with the Los Angeles Sparks. Teresa Weatherspoon used to play for the Sparks. I would love to see if they reach out to her because I would love to see Teaspoon with young players. Imagine her with a roster with Cameron Brink, Rakia Jackson, De'Erica Hamby. Like that's a different roster, and they're gonna get a good pick this round. You don't know if they might be in the Paige Beckers Bowl. We'll see what it is, but I would holla at
Yeah, but
Teaspoon.
even Anissa Morrow, Tahina Pow
Yeah.
Pow, they
Oh,
have a lot of options
a lot
coming
of
up.
options.
Kiki Riaffin from
Oh yeah,
USC now playing with Juju.
yeah. They got a
Yeah,
lot of
so
options. They got a
mm-hmm.
lot of options.
Can't wait
So
to
we'll
see
we'll
that.
see how that goes.
Let's do our first team picks and our first team
Oh yeah,
picks.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Let's do that. Let's do
Let's
that.
end it.
All right. So look, we are going to end this off. We had to speak about how things are going around in the W, preview these game two matchups for tomorrow and everything like that, or today, whenever this drops. But we got to speak about our player awards and anything like that. Let's talk about the all WNBA team. I know AP dropped their first team. I don't know if they dropped second team, but they dropped their first team. Do not agree with y'all first team. But we got our own bucket for bucket, got our own first team. We know they didn't drop the sixth player of the year yet. So we could talk about who you got for sixth player of the year. We could talk about who we got for coach of the year, and we could just talk about the first team. So what we got going? Who you got for sixth player of the year? Kay.
Leo. Leo
Leo.
is my first choice for sixth player of the year. Leo. Then I don't know who I've come in at number two. Let me see. Now I think Leo's gonna win it.
I feel you. I feel you. Leo deserves it. She should win it. So originally, when I had dropped a video earlier mid-season, I had dropped a video for Kayla Thornton. I thought Kayla Thornton was going to get sixth player of the year because I thought she deserved it at the time. I said she's the leader off the bench for the Liberty. She comes in, start, finish, whatever you need from her, she does the job. But unfortunately, her shooting percentage had to start dipping after I put out that video. So I feel like I jinxed her a little bit. But after further review, Leonie Febish, what she's doing with her plus minus and everything, she is that real deal. Second place after her, I was gonna go Kayla Thornton, but I can't even go Kayla Thornton. I have to be non-biased, and I got to get that to Tiffany Hayes of the Las Vegas Aces. If there was anybody who could contest for
Oh,
that sixth
Tiffany
player of the
Hayes.
year, I think Tiffany Hayes could get that because she's playing phenomenal off that bench after she pulled her little Uno reverse to come back and
Yeah.
play with the Las
Psych.
Vegas Aces. All right.
Not retired.
Exactly. So yeah, that's sixth player of the year, but sixth player of the year, we in full agreement. Leonie Febish should get that sixth player of the year. Coach of the year, who you got for coach of the year?
Um, Minnesota Lynx coach, Cheryl Miller, Cheryl
Cheryl
Reeves,
Reeve. Yeah, Cheryl Reeve.
Cheryl Reeves. I got
Okay,
Cheryl
so you
Reeves.
got Cheryl Reeve for coach
Just
of the year.
what she did for them from last season coming into this season.
Yeah,
Just the turnaround with,
this
and
is
they didn't
tough.
really have that headline of like we have this star player or we're bringing in this star player different than last year. No, she just
Yeah,
really coached her way with what she had um
that's tough.
to
That's
that
tough.
second seed.
I think this is a tough one because I heard people at the start of the season talking about Stephanie White because of the way that the Connecticut Sun started. Um, but for me,
It
it's
did start
always
off
going to
hot.
be for me. It's going to be Coach Sandy Brondello because of the New York Liberty being the number one team, them having back-to-back seasons with 32 wins. The fact that she was able to figure out things with a different roster in such short time. I know the team brought back
Not
the
that much
core.
different, but
No, but I'm just talking about the core. Like the starting five isn't different, but when you're talking about the core of the team, what you're gonna get from your bench and everything like that,
and its
that's
identity
completely
is
different.
different.
The
Yeah.
idea is so it's completely different. So it's not like the five is the five, but they've done different, and she's been able to change rosters and do different things with adding Leo in and adding KT when needed. So I like what
Yeah.
she's done and how she's been able to keep them afloat after everything that transpired last year. And it just lets me know it's real. So she's my coach of the year.
Yeah, I could never
Um,
disagree with that pick.
yeah. And then let's talk about first team.
First team. I got
Talk
my
me.
first team pick down packed.
Let's
I'm
hear it.
I'm a I go with C I'll go with CC
Thank you.
starting
I'm happy
Caitlin
to hear
Clark.
that. Uh-huh.
I mean, what she did for Indiana, especially that second half of the season. You know, they had it
Yeah.
rough the first half, but she came out and 36, leading in points and assists as a rookie.
Mm-hmm.
And no, yeah, Caitlin Clark definitely
Yeah.
deserves to be our first team. Then I'm going with MVP Asia Wilson, unanimous
Absolutely.
MVP, of course. Um, then I have Sabrina Ionescu.
Mm-hmm.
It might be surprising to some, but I have Sabrina. Then Wilson Clark, Sabrina, who's my other? Nafisa Collier,
Mm-hmm.
Defensive Player of the Year, and Stewie.
We got the same exact list. I have no arguments here with that. We got the same exact list for all first team. Caitlin Clark
Okay.
absolutely deserves to be on that list. Sabrina Ionescu with how she started the season and how she ended the season as well. Leading scorer, first quarter points. She completely changed her game. Stewie, two-way player, great ending to the season. Nafisa and Angel, we ain't even got to speak about that. We know what they're doing.
Right. AP
Um,
disagreed with us though. They had Alyssa Thomas over Sabrina Ionescu.
they
So
did.
AP had the same pick except for Alyssa Thomas, which I don't really understand how Sabrina Ionescu won Easter Conference Player of the Month in June and July. Alyssa Thomas didn't win Player of the Month ever, and they're in the same conference,
Hmm.
and they're putting Alyssa Thomas over Sabrina Ionescu.
They don't watch. They don't watch, and they're not paying attention. That's what it is. When you give these voters like who aren't
Computer
really
about to
invested
die.
in this, yeah, that's what happens. What you said?
No, it was about to die.
Yeah, nah. When you give these voters who not really invested in it, that's exactly what happens, and that's unfortunate. That's really
Hmm.
unfortunate to see that. So they got to do better. They just got to do better. But hey,
I
that's
definitely
their
have
opinion.
ATA my second team, so I'll
Hmm.
just switch that around. That's the only difference for me,
Yeah.
but I kind of agreed with their second team.
What was
Their
their second
picks
team?
for a second team were Sabrina, Kalia Copper, Nneka Kumbike, Kayla McBride, and Arika Ngumbuale.
Yeah, and I 100% disagree with that one. So, second team to not have Jonquel Jones on the second team is blasphemy. So I'm gonna start with that. I think Jonquel Jones absolutely belongs on the second team. And then another one that people are going to laugh at me for, and I don't care because I don't care about people's opinions, is Angel Reese belongs on the second team. The peak
For
performer on
sure.
rebounding, she belongs on the second team with what she was able to do this season for her team. They got into the playoff contention for some time. Her being the leading rebounder in a league that Asia Wilson, Jonquel Jones, like those people still play here. Like Angel Reese came here and she averaged 13.1 rebounds a game. All right. So say what you want. Rebounding is an art and it's effort. If you could rebound like that, everybody else would. Knowing that you need to rebound the ball to win games and championships, she got that down pack. So for me, she's all WNBA second team with what she's been able to do this season as a rookie with her double streaks and her record. So I would like to see her on that all second team. I know y'all gonna front, but she belongs there.
For sure. Well, that's a great
And who
way.
who else did I
Oh,
have? I just like I said, I just had Jonquel Jones, Alyssa Thomas, Angel Reese, um, and my two my
no,
my guards. I had trouble with my guards. I didn't know who if I wanted to
no
go with
Enrique.
Enrique, if I wanted to go with Kalia, or maybe both of them. But I also wanted to give Skylar Diggins some love. Like it was tough, but if I had to
Mm,
round it out, I'm gonna just go Enrique and Kalia.
yeah. I agree with your list a lot. I mean, Kayla McBride has also had a great season, and Minnesota being the second seed.
Oh yeah,
Gotta give her flowers, and she was
yeah,
picked for AP, picked her for a reason, and I understand, but I also loved Angel Reese, um, for that list.
yeah, yeah. That's
So yeah,
tough.
so it's tough. It
It's
gets
tough.
tough.
Yeah, it's tough. But I will not shade anybody today. There is enough of that on X, formerly known as Twitter. But you
Stay
already
off of
know
that,
what the
y'all.
vibes is. You already know what the vibes is. It is Kenny.
And Kayla, Woman
You
Hoops.
you already know the vibes. This is bucket for bucket. Round two is about to start. The semis. Let's go. Kay, you got any closing thoughts for the people before we go?
We all we got, we all we need.
Ah,
That's
let's
it.
go. Let's go.
We all we got, we all we need. Let's go.
Let's go. I like that.